Hi, my name is Corey, or Everything Fantasy, and this time we're doing another Limbus Company reaction video. A musical breakdown of LaMancha Carnival from Limbus Company. I don't know too much context, other than it being associated with Don Quixote, but besides that, no more than that. Again, as you would have seen from the last video, I've only finished Library of Ruina, so I haven't started Limbus Company yet, but I'm interested in providing my own musical take on the music of Limbus Company, and I know many of you recommended this particular track as well, so I'm interested to see what we've got here. Meanwhile, I should also say, if you want to support the channel and also make more suggestions on things I should react to, make sure to follow the Patreon as little as $1 a month, and it really helps out the channel. Thank you. So with that said, I've got my keyboard in front of me. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so we've immediately got samba as our genre. I hear vocals as well. I actually used to be in a samba band, so I'm very familiar with these particular instruments too. We have the Brazilian whistles, the surdo, the caixas, all playing rhythms right from the get-go. To give you a sense of it, there's a lot of rhythms, particularly in percussion, that are associated with samba. So something like is a very Brazilian samba rhythm. I'm really interested so far. I'd love to know some context. I know a lot of you provided really nice explanatory notes that were non-spoilery in the comments of the last video of Hero by Millie. Please do the same, because they're really interesting to read, as well as many of your theories too. Let's keep going. So, let's figure out the key. I'm thinking we are in F sharp major. We heard a nice kind of sort of swing, quite jazzy, definitely samba-y rhythm from the bass in this. It sounded something like this. But it's being played by a double bass, I think I can hear. The interesting thing is, we have almost like an exaggerated version of samba in many ways, because you would of course expect loads of percussion, perhaps some level of horns as well, but we've got a full-on brass section and a string section as well, which I find really, really interesting. I really like some of these chord changes, actually. They're quite unexpected. So, the vocalist did something like this. It's really, really interesting because it's taking a slight unexpected turn, almost. Again, I'm really interested in context, as usual, because this is showing me a lot so far that I don't typically expect from tracks in a Project Moon game, but it just goes to show how much I'm truly missing out on by not having played Limbus Company yet. I'm getting the impression that there's probably some inevitable, very Project Moon-esque twisted turn on this at some point. I have a bit of a prediction that this, although this is quite consistent so far, we have something which is quite repetitive in a sense, but really funky and fun and amazing to listen to. Why do I have this sneaking suspicion that it's going to take a slightly creepy turn later on? I could be completely wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me from what we've known to come and love from tracks which are in these games. Okay, this is the creepy bit. So, we were right. It's kind of expected at this point that at some point these tracks are going to take a creepier turn. In this case, we've done something which is exactly the same that we heard in Hero last analysis video, where it changes from major to minor of exactly the same note. So last time for Hero, for example, we went from C major to C minor. This time we've gone from F sharp major to F sharp minor. Now, the funny thing is, I would assume that this is Studio I'm composing this. At least that's what I have generally known to think of Project Moon games. But it's just funny how the tropes are so similar. Even here, we had the same kind of sequence of changing from major to minor of the same note. And in this, we have a very similar thing. It's kind of like, I'm almost starting to build a picture of tropes that we would expect to see in a Project Moon soundtrack in many ways. When something needs to be creepy, we'll go to minor. Within the same note. That's the crucial thing, because often when a key changes, it will go from, for example, from C minor to like D flat minor or something like that, rather than staying on exactly the same root note. An interesting trope. To give some context as to how we know that it's going from major to minor, so the melody notes went something like this at the beginning. Da 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 da. And now, which clearly indicates that we're in a major key. And now we've got the da 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 da. This is really fun. The track is fun for so many reasons. Funnily enough, I was working on a soundtrack for a game I'm composing for earlier today, and I did a very similar thing actually. Those brass stabs, the da 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 da. They just add this kind of really nice poppy, but slightly jazzy vibe to the entire track. That's really cool. It kind of keeps the high energy throughout the entire thing. I should also say I'm very disturbed by the talking in the background. Probably the character in question or something like that, but it's very disturbing in a very Project Moon way. There's something interesting that's now going on again. We've gone back to major. But there's still elements of that minor chromatic side coming into it as well, where she went da da da. It's a really nice way of creating this uneasy feeling. Like, when you listen to the first 30 seconds of this, you think, okay, imagine you had no context of Project Moon games or anything. You'd probably think, yeah, really upbeat, really uplifting track, it's really fun and everything. But I love this kind of subtle introduction of really uneasy things. It helps to add this really nice contrast and level of almost like, oh, don't get too happy yet, there's something really disturbing happening. I really love this climax section, kind of everything is just big. We have loads of snare drums kind of going. think I hear timpani in the background going do, 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 do as well as that bass line kind of being quite consistent throughout. In fact, shout out to the bass line of this. That's just so consistently solid throughout. It helps to provide something to latch onto, is what I'd describe it as. The vocals as well also being incredible as usual. It just ended there. I don't know, I was expecting some sort of fade out or something. Oh well. A really interesting track. Again, has that really unique kind of disturbing feel to it, as is normally the case. I'm kind of trying to see what some of the lyrics are to this. Let us march together, oh happy hour, to the beat of upbeat drums without worries or concerns. But okay, I'm going insane from this burning thirst in the streets. Saunter so many tasty morsels for us. What is going on? I'm very worried at this point. This is disturbing, but in the most Project Moon way possible. It's kind of how I describe a lot of this, actually. So many interesting tropes that we've identified from just 2 songs so far that we've analysed. Definitely in the comments suggest more, because I'm really interested in kind of piecing the puzzle of what makes a Project Moon soundtrack, ultimately. There are clearly certain tropes that we've identified, and I'm curious to see how many we can spot from analysing as many pieces as possible. So, any other suggestions? Let me know in the comments section. But if there's nothing else, thank you for watching, and take care.